let it shine, let it shine, let it shine all the time. Is there another verse?
There's two more.
That's a new
You
song.
should do the Three Little Bears.
Can you whistle the Three Little Bears?
It's in the new
Oh, you want me to whistle the Three Bears? Okay, we'll whistle the Three Bears. Okay, this is what I learned a long time ago.
Whistling the three.
Okay. Does anybody else want to tell a joke? Something to entertain us?
Truman had some.
Tyler, you have something?
Not even a knock joke?
Okay, yeah, okay, Truman.
What? Gets wetter when it's drying.
It gets what?
Wetter when it's drying.
A towel.
Ice. No,
A towel.
a towel gets wetter. Okay, it's just drying people. Oh, good, yeah. I'll say, what do you do when your raven gets thirsty?
Yeah. Give it water.
You take it to a crowbar. Yeah. Oh, Joe, Scott?
Why was the elephant scared of the computer? Why is the rocks in there?
Why was the elephant scared of the computer?
Because of the rat. Why is the rocks in there? Because he was scared of the mouse.
Oh, the mouse, yes. Oh, that's a good one.
Why do chickens cross the road?
To get to the other side.
Right. So now, what happens when you have a burning chicken?
You run to the water.
You get a duck and they stamp out the burning chicken. So why do elephants have flat feet?
From stamping out the ducks.
Stamping out burning ducks, of course. Everybody knows that.
Why the rooster cross the road?
Why?
He was chasing the chicken.
That's right.
Okay, Scott.
What did the ketchup say with the mustard in a race?
Ketchup.
Ketchup,
You're
mustard.
too far behind ketchup. No.
Ketchup. You better ketchup.
You better ketchup. That's a good one. Okay. I think Stetson has a joke he's holding out on us.
No. I think Tom did too.
Me?
No, I think Tag does. Tag has a lot of jokes in this one. Bird King,
Yeah,
I have one. Why does Rooster cross the road?
I thought we just said that one.
I changed it a little.
Why did Rooster cross the road? I don't know why.
Because he wanted a new chick.
Oh, there's two chicks. There you go. Well, you know, speaking of chickens, I don't know if you guys know that there's a place called Murray McMurray where they can sell baby chicks to you. And if you order the chicks, they come in a box, and they come to the they come to the post office. And when you go to get them from the post office, they are so glad you come because those little chicks are back in the back going beep, 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 beep all the time. The reason they can put the chicks in the box and ship it by mail, because when the chick first hatches, before it hatches, it eats the yolk, the rest of the yolk, and then it has enough strength for 3 days. It has enough strength and water that if it stays at the right temperature, it can stay alive for 3 days. Well, they send at least 12 chicks in the box because the chicks give each other warmth. And if they send it in winter, they don't open very many holes in the box. But if they send it in the summer, they open up a lot of air holes so that air can come through the box. But the moral of the story is, when somebody wants you to pay the bill, just tell them the chick's in the mail.
The chicks. Okay.
The yolk's on you.
The yolk's on. That's a good one.
He has one.
Should I tell another one?
If you dare.
Yes.
Depends on how long.
Here we go. You ready? Okay. So this big heavyset guy was on a plane. And back in the old days, when you're on a plane, people used to smoke on the plane, you know, it's kind of nasty. And then there was this woman there, and she had a whole bunch of perfume on and had this dog. And the guy says, "Hey, will you get rid of your dog? I'm allergic to dogs. It makes me cough and sneeze and all that." And he says, "Hey, will you get rid of your cigarette, a cigar? It stinks. I hate it. It smells terrible. Ugh." He says, "Nope, I'm not gonna get mine." And then they finally say, "Okay, let's settle down. We got to figure this out." So the plane's still flying. Now, down below at a construction yard, this guy needed 199 bricks to finish his fence. So he went to the store and said, "I want to buy 99 bricks." He says, "Sorry, we only sell them in groups of 100. You have to buy 100. He says, No, I only need 99. He says, "No, you got to take all 100. He says, "No, how about if I buy 100 and leave one here?" He says, "No, you can't leave one. It'll mess up our system. You have to take 100 bricks." He says, "No, I don't need 100 bricks. I only need 99. And so he finally says, "Okay, I'll buy them all." He grabbed it and he took the brick and he threw it up in the air. And then it went away. Now, back to the airplane. The airplane's up there, and you got this heavy-set lady with the dog, and then she's stinking. She's got a whole bunch of perfume. You ever been by somebody with too much perfume?
Yes.
You know what it smells like? Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh. And then you've got this other guy with his cigar, and he's in the plane smoking inside the plane, and you can imagine how nasty that smelled. And so they're fighting back and forth, "Get rid of your dog. No, get rid of your cigar. No, get rid of your dog. Get rid of your cigar." And they kept fighting back and forth. And they said, "Okay, we've got to solve this problem. We got to get where we're going to go. Okay, we're going to open up the windows, and at the same time, I'm going to throw out my cigar, and you're going to throw at your dog." And they said, "Okay, that's how we're going to solve the problem." So they opened up the windows, and he grabbed a cigar, she grabbed her dog, and they threw him out the window. And they finished their flight and landed.
Well,
You know what they found when they landed? They found
the
the
dog
dog
and
sitting
cigar.
on the brick smoking the cigar. Oh. I don't know how that happened.
How did the dog live?
So we talked about bears.
How did a dog even live from that height?
I gotta tell you
Dad, how
guys
can
a
you
story
go?
about when I had an encounter with a bear. There was, we were up in southwestern Colorado, and there's a place called Bear Creek, and there's another little creek that goes into Bear Creek, and it's called Little Bear Creek. And there's a road that'll take you all the way up to those creeks, and it's called this. What's it called? I can't remember right now, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, my cousins and I, Greer and Doug, we were going to ride our horses up and look for a horse that got lost. And so we just got on our horses and took off, having a grand old time. And some things happened on the way. So we got to a stream and we saw a fish in the stream. And we thought it'd be cool to get that fish. But we didn't have a fishing pole. So they took a big rock and they splashed the thing, and the fish can block coming out of the place. And so we had a fish that we could cook up and eat if we wanted to. And then we're riding a little bit long, and about from here to, way over there, there was a squirrel on the tree, on the pine tree. And Doug says to Greer, I bet you can't hit that with the rock. And Greer picks up a rock and throws it and hits it right square in the neck. And whoop. So now we got a fish and a squirrel we can eat. So anyway, we kicked the fish with us and the squirrel, and we put it up on the trail, and we found some wonderful raspberries. I don't know if wild raspberries in the mountains are just so delicious and so good. So we decided to eat some raspberries. So eat some raspberries, and guess what happened? We find ourselves next to two little bear cubs. And on the other side, we're standing between the bear cubs and their mama. Not only that, but we're holding a fish and a squirrel, which bears love to eat. So what are we going to do? So Greer, he's real smart. He gives me the squirrel and the fish, and he takes off running. And the unfortunate thing is that Greer and Doug, my cousins, can both outrun me by far. I'm the slow one. And so we're running away from that bear, and that bear is coming after the fish and the squirrel and me. And I'm running as fast as I can. So I see a tree, and I just run up and jump that branch. It's about 14 feet high, so I'm running and jumping, and I missed the branch. But then I caught it on the way back down. And I'm hanging on to that branch, and that bear comes running up to me, and he grabs my leg. She grabs my leg. I caught you there, didn't I? She grabs my leg, and she's pulling my leg just like I'm pulling your leg right now. No, that's not the way it happened. The way it happened is that they're running, I'm running, and we come right up to a cliff. And I'm right there facing the bear, and she opens her mouth as wide as could be, and I reach my fist, and I punch my fist through her mouth, and I grab her tail, and I pull it, and she's running inside out now. That's not the way it happened. What really happened is that bear came right up to me and says, "Tag, you're it." No, that's not what happened. What really happened is I'm looking at the bear and I'm looking at this cliff, and I decided I'm going to jump into the rocks at the bottom of that cliff. And so I jumped and I landed in that rock. I sunk right up to my knees, and I had to walk all the way home and get a pick my way out of those rocks. Let me tell you the true story. I've been to Bear Creek many times. I've been to Little Bear Creek little times. I've never seen a bear.
Hey, did you know it was a dark and stormy night? And the robbers were in a cave. And the leader said, "Joe, get up and tell us the story." And he began. It says, "It was a dark and stormy night. And the robbers were in a cave. And the leader said, "Joe, get up and tell the story." And he began. He said, "It was a dark and stormy night. Two dead boys got up to fight. Back to back, they faced each other, drew their swords and shot each other. The deaf policeman heard that noise, and he came and killed those two dead boys. If you don't believe these lies are true, ask the blind man. He saw it too."
Bravo.
Okay, we're gonna do one thing. We gotta test your guys' speaking ability.
Oh, yeah.
Is that still on over there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we had the summer camp and we had this guy named Joe Bear. No, it was Jim Bear. Joe Bear was my dad's other friend. But Jim Bear, he worked in the newspapers in Los Angeles and he knew a lot of the movie stars and the radio broadcasters. And one thing the radio broadcasters do, they would have a certain thing they'd learn to say so they could pronounce things really well, pronunciation. So they learned this saying, and if you Google it or YouTube it, you can find this. So you repeat after me, okay? One hen.
One hand.
One hen, two ducks.
One hand, two ducks.
That was a joke earlier, wasn't it? One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
Three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese. Say that again. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese. Now we're practicing pronunciation, so you say it good, okay? One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters. Olimeric means they're shiny, okay? Say Olimeric.
A limerick.
Okay. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters.
Scott, you can take my seat.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking
sit
geese,
on Dad's
four
lap.
Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises. Corpulent, that means they're fishy, they're fast, okay. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises. You guys aren't saying it with me, you gotta say it right here. Okay, do it again. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises, 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers.
Scott, you have
Okay, now one hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises, 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers. Okay, now follow me. One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises, 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array. You got to do it like that, in full battle array. Ready? One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises. Your breakfast counts on this, okay? 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array. Okay, ready? One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises, 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the sacred ancient crypts of Egypt. Okay, Brian, I'm counting on you here, okay? Ready? One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises, 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the sacred ancient crypts of Egypt. Shall I just do it all for you? One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Olimeric oysters, five corpulent porpoises, 6,000 pairs of Donnell Van Zer's tweezers, 7,000 Macedonian warriors in full battle array, 8 brass monkeys from the sacred ancient crypts of Egypt, 9 empathetic, sympathetic, diabetic, old men on roller skates with a marked propensity towards procrastination and sloth. I had to get that right there. 10 herical, spherical, diabolical denizens from the deep that haul and sprawl and crawl all at the same time. Thank you very much.
Do from the top. From the top
I
again.
just did.
I don't even remember the first. You imagine climbing trees, cutting trees, and saying this stuff?
Grandpa,
Yeah,
do the Pete and repeat one.
repeat and repeat. I don't remember that one.
What was the
On
last
the
one?
boat?
Old man? Diabetic? What was it?
Empathetic, old men on roller skates with a marked propensity towards procrastination and sloth. They're all real words. I didn't make them up. So actually my brother, Jim Bear, taught that to my brother. He was about 8 years old and he used to do that in front of the fireplace just like this for everybody. And then as he did it all the time, I learned it and I carried it on. Look it up on Facebook. Okay. what's repeat and repeat? I don't. Oh yeah. Oh, the song we sang on the way up here. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
What's repeat and repeat?
On the boat.
Huh?
On the boat.
That was me and my two brothers. Repeat, repeat, and repeat it.
Oh,
Repeat.
repeat it. Huh? Well, let me tell you what my claim for fame is. I performed with Doug Jones, my cousin, and Steve Craig at Rico Days on a stage, and I stayed. And do you know who Steve Craig is?
Is that like Country Thunder or what?
Steve Craig is Marie Osmond's husband. They married. He was a basketball player for BYU. They married, divorced, and she remarried. The guy died, and then years later they're remarried again, happily married now. But Steve sang with me. When he joined the Osmond family, he said he couldn't sing, but I knew better. Shall I sing that song that I sang with him? It's a nice song.
Damn, Cobbler's ready,
Oh, Cobbler's ready.
so we probably
So
should.
first verse only?
It's just one verse.
Oh, one
Okay, it's a real quick song. He always sings jazzy music to his cattle as he swings back and forward in his saddle on a horse, pretty good horse. That is pretty syncopated, gated, and it's such a funny
That's funny.
meter to the roar of his repeater, how they run when they see the fellow's gun, because the western folks all know he's a highfalutin, rootin', tootin' son of a gun from Arizona. Ragtime cowboy, talk about your cowboy, ragtime cowboy Joe. That's all I got. That's the best I can do. Hey, thanks for being so patient. Huh?
Garrett,
Go, Bo.
So
Garrett,
we already blessed the freshmen.
Yep, I did. They're pretty blessed.
Garrett.
So we turn the time over to the boss. Who's the boss?
Garrett.
Well, we'll turn it, Brother Peterson. You'll take charge here.
Do we want to do a little program or how do you
We
want to do
do
it?
it.
We'll do it quickly.
Want to do it?
Yeah, so we
Oh, yeah,
Brother Peterson and I were talking just so that we remember why we're here. We talked about the priesthood commemoration. You guys probably heard on Sunday that in another few months we're going to start having priesthood and Sunday school every week. And as part for what the young men will be studying, there's an updated for the